Hello, hello. We are back doing our live tip of the day. Thank you so much for joining me. Just going to make sure the sound is off on my keyboard so we don't get that kind of reverb thing going on. Hopefully you can all hear me and see me. Please do let me know that you can in the chat. It's always good to know that there's no tech gremlins working today. And let me know where you're watching from as well. And if you're watching this back on replay, then let me know that too, because it's always good to know whether you're watching live or afterwards. Let me know in the comments or in the live chat if you're live. Hi Donna, Susan, Jane, hello everybody. Right, today I haven't been live for a while because of the summer holidays, etc. I don't know about you, but absolutely melting today, especially with the lights that I have on when I'm filming. Oh my goodness. But hopefully you're all managing to keep cool and hydrated in this little mini heat wave that we're having here in the UK in September. Hottest September on record, I think, at the moment. Hi from Florida, Lynette. Oh, you'll be used to the heat. I'm not used to the heat. Hi Stacey as well, and Maggie, who's my mum. Hi mum. Brilliant, you can hear me. Okay, thank you, Jane. Right, so we're going to do a roundup of the news. There's loads going on in the studio, and then we are going to move on to our tip of the day. It's a quick one today, but it's really important and it's going to help you with your sewing. So hopefully you're going to stick around for that. So I do have a list. I want to make sure I don't forget everything. So I'm just going to check. Right, the first thing on Wednesday. Now I'm not allowed to tell you what it is. I'm not allowed to do any sneak peeks, anything like that. But if you've been following me for a while, there's something that I do every now and then, being very general here, that I do every now and then. And the email for that is coming out on Wednesday. Okay, so check your emails when you wake up. You will get an email from me all about this big, exciting thing that happens every now and then that you're not going to want to miss. Okay, so that is on Wednesday. What else do we have? We have the 12 Days of Bag Making box pre-order is now open. We've already had 30 people jump straight in there. Most of these are people that have bought last year, so they know what's coming. They know the quality that's involved in this. You may not know what I'm talking about. So I do have a video on my channel. In the description below, you can find a link to the product on my website. There is also the video on there, so you can watch it if you want to, just to get a feel for what this is about, what I'm talking about. Basically, it's think of it like an advent box for bag making, hence the 12 days of bag making, okay? So within this goodie box that you get delivered, you will have 12 individually wrapped bags with numbers on. You can you're supposed to open them in order. Some people open them all at once because they can't wait. Some people open them every other day in December. Some people open them for the first 12 days. Some people even kept it till Christmas Day as a little gift for themselves, as a surprise. And in those 12 little bags, big bags, they're varying sizes, are different bag making supplies. Now we're doing things a little bit differently this year. Last year, the final package was a pattern. We're not doing a pattern this year. However, so excited about this. We have got sponsors this year. So, depends how many boxes obviously we go for, but every now and then I've got, well at the moment I've got over 15 sponsors. So if we don't sell any more, you guys that have bought already are on to an amazing thing, because that is a 50-50 chance that you're going to win something extra. And these are amazing prizes from all kinds of sponsors. There are some up on the project page, which you can see in the link, and there are more to be announced. I'm just getting through everybody that has agreed to be a sponsor. And what that means is at the minute, every other box is going to get a code for a pattern. It might be a bundle of fabrics, it might be some bag making supplies, all different things. And the good thing about this is that I do have people buy internationally. We ship internationally for these boxes. They went all over the world last year. And I'm going to break it up. So if it's an American sponsor for fabric, for example, I'm going to make sure that it's an American box receiver that gets that code or that information. There's only one per business. Does that make sense? So you don't know what you're going to get. It's all a complete surprise. Not everyone will get them, but there will be sponsors and little goodies, extra goodies in there as well, okay? And there's going to be a coupon code for a pattern of your choice from me. Everybody's going to get that, plus your 12 little packages. Donna says, new for me, excited. Yes, I'm so excited, Donna. I've got some amazing things I'm putting in there this year. And so yeah, it's all a big surprise. It's all really exciting. If you want to see the video from last year, go ahead. It's on my channel. It's also on the product page, which you can find in the link in the description. So that's the 12 days of bag making box. The pre-order is closing soon. Do not miss out on this. Last year, so many people were gutted that they missed out on it. It doesn't matter how many times I talk about it. They missed out. They missed it. And then I think I had like 4 for retail, so I don't know how many I'm going to have for retail this year. So check it out and you won't miss out. Okay, that's that. Oh, and the other thing is as well, if you are an international customer or follower and you are interested in the bag making box, I made a bit of a boo-boo on my listing. And somehow the listing was adding on like 2 loads of postage for international. I've fixed that now. So I'm really sorry if you checked it out and were like, what? I'm being charged twice for the postage. Now it should all work out, and I've listed that clearly on the product page, so you will know exactly how much it's going to be. Unfortunately, I can't, dictate the postage for international. I really wish I could, and I'm sorry it's so high, but that's how it is. If it makes you feel any better, across here, on this side of the pond, we never get access to all the cool stuff you guys get in America, so it kind of works out if you think of it like that, but I'm sorry, I've had to do the international shipping as well, and it's not great. Gather and create, sounds amazing, thank you for working so hard. Oh, thank you. Susan, hoping that the leather label for fabric scissors is in it. Oh, Susan, you got that last year, didn't you? It won't be anything that was in last year's, just to make it different. I didn't want to do the same things. Tracy says, how do I order? The link is in the description of this video, or you can go to Studio 77. Obviously, you need to remember the, with that side, the T in between, .co.uk, and you can find it on there. Okay, moving along. Next bit of news we have. I am at the Knitting and Stitching Show in London in a couple of weeks. Now, if you don't know what this is a huge, it's probably, Festival of Quilts is probably the biggest show in the UK, and this is probably the second biggest show. It's at a place called Alexandra Palace, which is in North London. It's a huge convention centre, very, very old, beautiful, stunning windows. I think I've been going for, I reckon about 20 years. Obviously, there was a few years I didn't go, but I have been going for a long time, and I'm super excited because I am teaching there this year. These are my first in-person workshops. I've always taught online, so I'm really excited to meet you guys, but there are only a few slots left. So again, I've put a link in the description if you want to check that out. There's a link for the workshops, and if you're planning on going, there is a link for a discount code as well, so that you can visit and get a nice little cheeky discount on your ticket. Do pop by. I think the stand I'm at is stand B4. I will add a comment or put it in the description when I check that. I'm pretty sure it's B4. I am with the trimming shop, who I work really closely with, so we're gonna go on a stand together, so I'm really excited for that. If you are popping along to the Knitting and Stitching Show, please come along and say hello. I would love to meet you, love to see you, and of course I'm going to have all my patterns and things there too. Jane says, I'm going Thursday. Stacey's going as well, hooray! Susan says she got one, but her sister acquired it. Oh no, Susan, I don't know if I've got any left now. I did have some. I will double check for that. Right, excuse me. What else do we have? The other bit, the final bit of news as well, is that very soon, you may have seen me talk about YouTube a lot. Obviously, we are live on YouTube. I absolutely love YouTube as a platform, and I'm really passionate about it. I believe my whole business has come because of YouTube. I'm on Sewing Street because of YouTube, because I saw my videos. I have my community because of YouTube. Thank you so much. Everything is because of YouTube, and that's why I'm really passionate about it. If you have ever wanted to start a YouTube channel, I have something really exciting coming up that I'm really excited for. And you can find a link in the description if you want to grab a free YouTube for Creatives ebook. And it has loads of tips on there to getting started on YouTube. And if you're on, that will make you join the email list as well. And then you're going to follow along. And if you're on the emailing list as well, you're going to find out this too. I'm hosting a really great YouTube for Creatives. This is specifically at people that want to make tutorials. They want to do vlogs about making things. And I'm going to teach you how to do YouTube. So check that out. It's coming soon into the mailing list. If you're not on the mailing list and want to, check that out in the description. You can either join via the YouTube for Creatives ebook, or I've also put in there the bag making tips ebook as well. I always put loads of free stuff in my emails, so you can find that out. And I touched on at the beginning, in case you missed it, on Wednesday there's an exciting email that you're not going to want to miss for an amazing deal. Donna says would love to go to knitting and stitching show but can't manage the big hill from the train station. There's a bus, it takes you all the way up the hill. You don't have to do the big hill, Donna. Yeah, there you go, Jane. There's been a bus from the station. Yeah, and there's a bus from the car park as well. So the car park is right at the bottom of the hill. It is a big hill, I agree. Let's hope it's not as hot as it is at the moment, because I'm going to be not too pretty. But yeah, there's a bus from the car park at the bottom of the hill that takes you up to right by the doors, and there's also a bus from the train station. So either of those options, hopefully that helps, Donna. Right, I think that is all the news and reviews. I've tried to kind of go through that quickly. Hopefully I haven't lost you so far. We're going to get on to our tip of the day. This is one, I shared this a little while ago, but I definitely haven't shared it on YouTube. And let me see if I can pop across to a different camera. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay, so you can see on the screen here, I've got my Divide and Go pattern. This is the new pattern that is coming out, let's just say really soon, if you can put 2 and 2 together. And here I've got a project. Now I'm gonna level with you. I cut this out, I think it must have been May, and I still haven't made it up. That's what happens when you're a pattern designer and you want to make up a personal project that's nothing to do with a new pattern or a sample. It just goes straight into the kind of, you're going to get finished at some point, but not yet. Susan says, wish there was something like that up here in Scotland. Oh, Susan, maybe one day there will be. There is one that is up at the, I think it's at the NEC, so the Knitting and Stitching Show. There's 2 arms to it. There's the London one, and then I'm pretty sure it's Birmingham. Hopefully someone else will help. I'm not going to be at the Birmingham one, but there are lots of amazing businesses that will be there. Okay, going back to this. So, when you're cutting out a pattern, I would love for you to pop in the chat below or in the comments, if you're watching this on replay, how you get yourself organised with your pattern pieces. Now, this project, this is the Ina bag, and these are definitely not all of the pattern pieces. I've only got a couple here. Do you know what? Haven't even cut the lining. That's as far as I got. I cut a few bits of the lining because I was doing this for a masterclass for So Confident. In fact, you might be watching if you did her Confident Capsule collection. So hello, if you were there. This is as far as I got. I didn't cut out the lining. I'm going to be honest with you. I just cut out, you know, bits and pieces. And so I kind of end up, and I'm sure everybody does, when they cut out their pieces, they have different piles of things. So I wanted to talk to you about getting organised when you are pattern making, sewing, bag making. Okay, this isn't super glamorous, I'm going to admit. This is kind of one of those organisation that kind of everyone goes, oh no, I don't want to do that. But it really does help, and this is going to speed up your production process, okay? And there's a few tips. I'm going to share one that I got from Lauren Mormino as well that I absolutely love. Janet said, hello, I did the CCC with So Confident. Hello, Janet, brilliant stuff. Fab fabric, handmade by Hilly. Hello, Hilly. Hi, I made it. Son's friend hasn't arrived. That's good. There's one in Glasgow in November, Janet says. Oh, yes, there is, because So Confident was there, wasn't she, Janet? Well done, well done. So, what I do is I cut everything out, and there's different ways you can do it. So, one way that you can do it is a good old handy friction pen, is to literally write on with your friction pen. Let's be honest, this is going to be on the inside. It's completely on the inside. You're never going to see it. But, you know, just to be sure, so you don't go all the way through, use a friction pen, and then just literally write on the front or on the back, the piece that you're going to see as you're sewing. Hopefully you can see that. Pattern piece 1, and you could put main panel or something, okay? And then this is my fusible foam, so I might want to put that on my outer main panel. These are all interfaced. Sometimes I do this as I'm cutting them. It's worth noting that if you're going to do that, you're going to want to not use a friction pen and write in the seam allowance. So obviously every pattern has a different seam allowance. My patterns always have 1 centimetre, unless it's, you know, unless it tells you otherwise. And then write in the seam allowance of your pattern piece before you interface it, or, you know, if you haven't cut it out yet, a rough seam allowance. And do it with a pen that's not going to erase. Probably don't have one. Oh, there we go. So you're going to want to write in there pattern piece 1 main panel, because otherwise when you put your interfacing over it and then go to cut it out, does depend whether you interface and then cut or the other way around, you're going to lose it if it's a friction pen. Okay, so worth thinking about. I often make the mistake, write it on with a friction pen and then regret it. So that's one way you can do it. Label up your pieces as you go. Now, another way is that a lot of patterns, and on my more recent patterns, this does not equate to this pattern, I'm afraid. This was just one that I found, is that you clip together all the pieces. So I'll have like the lining, the fusible foam or fleece, and then the outer, and I will actually place a clip and just clip that to it. So I've got that so that when I'm sewing along, I can quickly go, oh, that's the piece. The other thing I like to do as well is literally clip the whole pattern piece to it. And because as you're going along, you're going to need the pattern piece for different reasons. You may have a cutout, you know, the rectangular cutout for your zipper hole. You may have strap connector placement. You may have a twist lock placement, all of those things. So sometimes, I know people have different preferences, so that's why I include these on my more recent patterns. But quite often, actually, more often than not, I will clip the whole pattern piece to it, just so it's ready, it's there, instantly can see. Then I don't always draw on or write on the pattern piece name as well. So there's that one. And then, aside from bag making, so let's just put that to one side for a second. And I didn't grab any fabric that this pertains to. Let me go across to here. But another thing is, if you're not a bag maker and you're just doing garment, not just, but you're just doing garments and not bag making, or maybe you do both, what I like to do, sometimes you don't know which is the front of the pattern, and actually if you are using mesh, and sometimes mesh has, you know, the stretchy mesh has different sides, there's a right side and a wrong side, or you choose which is the right and the wrong side. Not always, but sometimes. And on those instances, especially if it's a shaped piece and it's not symmetrical, I like to place a safety pin, hopefully you can see that, on the right side. And that is so it's really quick, it's really visual that that is the right side. It helps you not to get muddled up, which is so easily done with these like sheer fabrics or fabrics, you know, like the mesh, like I say. So that is another little tip. Then I have my final tip. Oh, Stacey says, I write on the back of mine all the time, and I also clip the paper piece to them. There you go, double hit, so you can't go wrong. Then the final tip, and this is from Lauren Mormino, who, if you don't follow her channel, I'm sure everybody does, you really, really must. And that is, and I'm sure lots of people do this, but I just saw it with Lauren, and I thought, you know what, this is the simplest thing, but what a difference. If you are batch sewing or you've got loads of different projects going on, these are just from IKEA, but I'm sure you can get them in loads of places. just putting all of the pieces, so getting your hardware together. I don't have any hardware to hand, of course I don't. Like, you know, putting your thread in there, for example. You know, there's my thread, that's the thread I'm going to use for this project. Maybe you've got a top stitching thread as well. You know, putting it all in there with your hardware, with the rivets, so that then it's completely ready to go. It's kind of like a kit. You're making your own kit. And I just thought that was a really good idea, because if you have a sewing room, if you're lucky to have a sewing room, then you may have stuff all over. You can't see the rest of my sewing room, but trust me, it's pretty messy. And so, you know, you may get things a bit jumbled up. This way it's going to keep everything all together. And if you get a few of these bins or these trays, I know in America people call these bins, but in the UK, I don't know if you know, because not all Americans know this, our bin is a trash can, so it's quite different. So I'm always having to you know, think a little bit when you guys say, I'm going to put them in a project bin, and I'm like, no, don't put them in the bin. Anyway, you're going to want to get a few of these bins, and then you can stack them up, and it doesn't take up too much space as well. Okay, so those are our little tips for when you're working with patterns. Short and sweet today. There was a lot to get through. I'm super hot, and I did my 24-hour sewathon, which I've not talked about, have I? On Monday and Tuesday of this week, I did a 24-hour non-stop. I think I stopped for food. Obviously, I went to the toilet. And the last hour, I must admit, I didn't sew. So it was probably like 21 hours in total, with the toilet breaks, the food breaks, etc. But I tried to stay at the machine. I tried not to stop. And we sewed through the night. Around about 4 o'clock, we all went a little bit crazy and lost the plot a bit. What was really lovely is that there was hubs all over the UK as well. In fact, there was So Confident in Glasgow was doing it as well. There was quite a few sewing bee ex-contestants doing it, or sewing bees, which was really lovely. We had some come into the London HQ and sew with us. We were chatting with them all night. So it's run by Sew Over It, and it's called the Big Sew Off. This is the second year that they've done it, and it's all about raising money for the charity Mind. So as you all know, sewing is so amazing for mental health. I'm sure it's helped you. It's certainly helped me. And so we raised money for Mind as part of our sewing. As well as that, all of the things that we made then have gone onto the Give Your Best website. And this is a really amazing website that I had never heard of before the sewathon. And basically, refugees or asylum seekers here in the UK can go on there and kind of use it like an eBay. So they have certain credits a month. It's all completely free for them. So they go on, they choose things to their own style. So it's not just like, oh, here's something, you know, whether it fits you or not, you know, here's a freebie. This is so that they can choose to their own style, their own taste, their own needs. And it's just so wonderful. So whether you have really good quality unused things that can't go to the charity shop because they're out of the return time, or, you know, I do that all the time. I forget to take things back and then end up giving it to charity, which is still really lovely to give it to the charity shop. But to be able to give it to these people that are in desperate need is just so wonderful as well. And maybe you have things around that you've made prototypes, like somebody suggested as a garment sewist. You know, you make up a toile which is in perfectly good fabric, but it might not be to your taste, or it might not fit you exactly well. You can hand that over to Give Your Best, and then it will go to a really wonderful home. And what was really lovely is that there was somebody on the Sew Over It team, Jemima, who was putting them up onto the website, and they were going in minutes, which just shows you how much of a need there is on that website for these people. So do consider that if you have excess makes that you don't need to necessarily sell. And I'm not talking to the people that make to sell, because obviously that's your business. I'm not suggesting you do that. But if you are just a hobbyist and you have excess makes and you don't know where to put them, then that might be something that you look into. I will put that in the description as well, so you can check that out. So that was what we were doing Monday, Tuesday. I'm still not 100%, I'll be honest. It's been kind of a weird week, kind of trying to catch up on sleep without going into sort of jet lag mode. It's been quite weird. Slowly catching up. I'm still very tired. The heat doesn't help, does it? I will also put a link in the description in case any of you would like to donate still. You can donate until Monday. And I have to say, if you donate before Monday, when it finishes, there are over 50 different prizes that have been donated. I've donated a pattern bundle, so there's an option to win, or you could win, a prize just for donating. So it's win-win. It's amazing. So anyway, I'll pop the link in the description as well in case you want to check that out. Okay, I am not going to keep you anymore. Thank you so much for joining me. I can see that there are people still watching. Thank you so much. And you can join us over in the Facebook group, which if you're on the mailing list, you will know all about. Just search for Sew, Create and Craft by Studio 77, or just search for Studio 77. You will find it there. There's always lots going on in there, and you can share your makes, etc. Otherwise, I shall see you back here next Thursday. I will try and do a longer tutorial next week. Hope to see you there. Don't forget to look out for the email on Wednesday. Have a lovely evening, everybody, and stay cool and hydrated. Oh my gosh, it's so hot, isn't it? Bye, everybody. Bye.